Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to have some fighting words. But before we go any further, I need for you to like this video and also please subscribe to my channel. So we have to talk about the fight in our new fully unified champion, Canelo Alvarez. It's fully deserved, and you got to give the man a respect. He is the king, hands down. They did the right thing by crowning him. He is the undisputed king. Can't take that away from him. I'm so happy for him. He did something that, he's had a long journey, but he did it. I want to just talk about this fight overall with Caleb Plant. So, when I do these fight breakdowns, I in my heart, I hope that they would circulate to the point where, maybe these guys could see them. Everything I said that would lead to Caleb Plant's downfall, he literally did all those things. I said, you have to punch, you're going to have to jab the entire fight. Your jab is your bread and butter. I also said your footwork, your movement is your bread and butter. Those two things were essential. But one thing in particular, I definitely said more than once. Okay, when you do the Philly shell, unless you're James Toney, I have to say this, unless you're James Toney, you shouldn't do it. Okay? He's the only person who can effectively do it to the point where it's an offense and a defense. Floyd does it when he gets in trouble, or he just wants to kind of walk guys down. But he's not that offensive when he does it. He's just pushing them back. James Toney will literally just stay in that Philly shell all day and just beat you up from that position. However, James Toney is as slick as they come. And I don't care if we're talking about James Toney at 168 or we're talking about James Toney at 210 or 230. That dude is just slick, and he can do it. Caleb Plant, and I said this in my fight breakdown, when you get into that Philly shell, you only really have effectively one punch, and you're just punching out. Yeah, you can twist from time to time and throw that straight, but the problem with that is you're open. Not to mention, if you're fighting someone as skilled as Canelo Alvarez, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And as powerful as Canelo Alvarez, keep in mind, at any given time, you have one punch. The other guy has all the punches. He's free. 9 times out of 10, if you're doing the Philly shell, you're on the ropes anyway. You got nowhere to run, and you only have one punch. Then, when you do it, a lot of times, like 90% of the time, maybe even 95%, you don't have a lot of pop on it because it's just this arm, and it's more of a gauging stick, or stay away. So, you might as well do this with your hand, because you're just kind of pushing him back, creating some distance. I don't know why and then it looked like Caleb was doing it not necessarily, he was doing it defensively, obviously. But then there was a few times where he did it offensively, and I'm like, dude, you do know that you're taller, right? You do know that you have a longer reach, right? That wouldn't be the defense that would work best for you. It just wouldn't. You're taller. Take advantage of being taller. But he didn't do that. He stuck, and then he stayed in that shell, round after round. I'm like, listen, brother, if it ain't working, drop it, leave it, because it ain't working. Yet he continued to stay with it. I guess I can give him a check for persistence. I don't know. But by round 7, he stops jabbing. He's done jabbing. And I don't know why he did that. Was he having a lot of success? Not a lot of success, but he was being tricky during the fight. He wasn't getting busted up or anything like that. He would get clipped here and there. He would take a few shots. But that jab was creating things for him. That jab was keeping Canelo guessing. That jab had Canelo at distance. And you just stopped. Yes, he was going to your body, but we all know that Canelo's going to go to your body. So you should have, let's just say if you do 1,000, if you do 1,000 crunches a day in a normal training camp, well, you probably should have did, 1,200, 300, 1,300 a day, because that's, who you're fighting. You're fighting a power puncher, but you're also fighting a body puncher. And I don't know. It definitely looked like, those punches to the body were getting to him, and eventually your arms will drop. Okay, but you still have your legs. you're still taller. You could have fought tall, you didn't fight tall. Fight at a distance, you didn't fight at a distance. You were crouching down low, you're in a Philly shell, and you're just doing, what are you, like, I wish I could hear what they were saying in the corner. Because at some point, you got to say, what are you guys doing? If you think this is okay and you send him out again, like, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. No, don't keep doing what you're doing. It's not working, and you're playing into his hands. Not to mention, I also said, if you look at the fight breakdown, and yes, I said these things, guys get stuck in front of Canelo. I don't know what it is. They just kind of get mesmerized. I don't know if it's machismo or it's just like, I'm not going to let this little guy push me around. But number one, he did push you around. And then number two, when you think like that, you fall into the trap. You don't particularly fight like this. He fights these guys, Billy Joe Saunders does not fight like that. Caleb Plant does not fight like that. Why in the world will you get sucked into it? You don't even fight like that. But you did it. And I knew he would. Listen, I always, when I make these videos, I'm just thinking, like, if you don't do this, now I'm not saying you're going to win. I'm just saying that it stays competitive a lot longer if you don't do this. If you don't do this, or if you do this, if you stay consistent with this. You didn't stay consistent with your jab. Earlier, when you were creating distance and you were using your legs, it wasn't easy for him to get to you, and he was missing a lot. Canelo did miss a few times. He missed a lot in the early rounds. Canelo is a slow starter, but he was missing a lot in those early rounds. And Caleb, by round 7, stopped fighting like Caleb Plant. Honestly, 7, 8, he stopped fighting like Caleb Plant, and he planted his feet. He just planted his feet, and that's what happened. And it just kind of went downhill from there. And what did I say? Again, I actually got slack for saying that Canelo would just kind of bulldog him. But I said it in the way of saying, if Canelo does not respect your power, he's going to bulldog you. He's going to bum rush you because he doesn't respect your power. That's just how it is. If he does not respect your power, believe me, he's going to run you over. And that's exactly what he did. He didn't respect Caleb. He clipped him. Caleb went down, and he ran, and, he missed like maybe 2-3 shots. But it wasn't the cleanest finish, but he finished him off. Either way, Caleb was on his way out. It didn't really matter. Caleb was on his way out. Caleb was not going to survive that round. And let's say by some chance he did survive that round, the following round would have been worse because Canelo had already made it up in his mind, I'm putting my foot on the gas. And you've already been down. And you were hurt from the last round. You're going out this round, and now I have 3 minutes to do it. You're going out. So, again, I'm happy for Canelo. I feel sorry for Caleb. He did try. It was a valiant effort. He had some success early. I'm not going to say he was like winning the rounds or anything like that, but he did have some success here and there in the early rounds. Once again, lack of consistency. You got to be consistent. Do what got you to the dance. Don't change up because you're here now. Do what got you to the dance. But I look forward to see what's next for King Canelo. I'm going to call him King Canelo because he's reigning high right now. He's a unified champ, so I'm going to call him King Canelo. I'm going to see what's next for King Canelo and who I think would be best for him to fight next. But that's all I have for this. Just a quick recap on what happened, and I just hope these videos circulate, honestly, because if they did, I just feel like Caleb could have saw this or whatever, and that's exactly what happened. Everything that I said is exactly what happened. But it was a great fight. I truly enjoyed the fight. A lot of tactics in there, a lot of little details that were little minute little things that were good to watch. And Caleb did learn. I believe his next fight, you're gonna see a different Caleb Plant. He definitely was game. He didn't say a whole lot, through the whole press tour or whatever, but he was game. He was game. He was in great shape. He was game, and he came out hard. He fought hard. He got up. Listen, whenever I see a guy get up and, swing, that's that dog in you. He had a dog in him, but unfortunately, he was in the yard with a bigger dog. That's all it was. I do look forward to seeing Caleb Plant come back and fight again. And until the next time, you know the routine. Drop it down below, and please like and subscribe.